Hey world, welcome back to my channel, A K in the Life. My name is Keshia Waldron. I am an entrepreneur, author, chain of all trades pretty much. And I am here for another week back with Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 5 review. Uh, Guys, you know I'm so excited because I just love this show. And I love giving my input and my feedback on what I think of the show. So stay tuned, grab your wine, grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, and let's get into it. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start with a couple that I do really like. Um, that, they don't have drama really. They don't have that much action going on, which is actually a good thing. So I'm going to start off with a couple that I like. Hopefully they gradually graduate to my fave, and that is Noi and Steve. So the couples are still on their honeymoon vacation, and Noi dropped the bomb. She dropped the L word. Now, if you watched my previous review, you do see that I mentioned that some of the couples need to pump their brakes on using the L word because it's too soon. They're literally 3 days in to their marriages, and it's just like, okay, guys, like, just calm down and really get to know the person that you're married to. Feel them out, because honestly, you don't know them yet. And I feel like when someone says that they're in love that quick, it's really infatuation, and it may be a combination of lust as well. Because I know out in the real world, if you on a third date with somebody and they're in love with you, at least for me, because I can't speak for anyone else, but that would definitely scare me completely away. Like, I would just be like, okay, red flag, red flag, red flag. But yeah, so Noi dropped the L bomb, and she did tell Steve that she feels like she's falling in love with him. And he pretty much was like, his response was pretty much like, okay, thanks for sharing, but I'm not there yet. And, from the looks of it, she did feel some type of way that it wasn't reciprocated back. But I honestly think Steve is actually in the right in this situation, because it is too early. It is too soon to already be saying that you're falling in love with someone and getting head over heels that quick. That's definitely scary, and it's definitely a red flag. But I do want to call Steve out really quickly, because I did notice something. So when Noi stated that she thought she was falling in love with him, and he pretty much was like, okay, thank you for sharing. I did find it interesting that it was too soon for her to drop the L word to him, but it wasn't too soon for her to sleep with him. Because if you remember, on day one, on the wedding day, he was okay with consummating the marriage. He was okay with it. He was just like, hey, if it happens, it happens. He was down. So for me, I'm like, how are you okay with consummating the marriage, but you're cautious when she says that she loves you? And I honestly, I read through the comments on social media when it comes to Married at First Sight, just to see what other people are saying and their feedback. And I just feel like, and on one of the Married at First Sight fan pages, I did mention that men see sex differently from women, and a lot of times with women, it's more on a level of intimacy, and a lot of times for men, not all the time, it's just a level of an act, and that's really all there is to it. So I feel like if you're ready for sex, or to consummate the marriage, if you're ready to consummate the marriage, but you're not ready for her to tell you that she loves you, I think that's mixed signals. especially because this is an experiment. You know, you're married now. You're not out in the dating world having casual sex with people. Like, this is something more serious and more solid, even though it was put together by experts. Even though you guys are strangers, um, you walked into a new realm once you decided to get married. It's not the dating world anymore. Even though, like, even when you are married, you should still date. You should still treat each other like it's the first time that you met, or when you had the first time butterflies and, you know, the honeymoon stage. Um, but besides that, it's just, it can, you know, consummating the marriage, but then um, being cautious with her saying that she's falling in love can definitely send mixed signals. Um, and, you know, that hits the emotional sense. And that can cause problems like what happened with Lindsay and Mark. So I'm gonna jump into Lindsay and Mark next. You know, I love Noy and Steve. I think they're really a really good match. And, you know, I don't really have much feedback for them right now as I do these recaps. Now, moving into the next couple, uh, Lindsay and Mark. So, Lindsay and Mark are definitely starting off very rocky as some of the other couples during the honeymoon. Um, so, with this episode, Lindsay had some drama. I'm going to start off with the drama that she had um, on the boat with the other girls. So Lindsay pretty much got into it with Katina because Katina did not like how Lindsay pretty much tried to play the victim in a situation that, you know, that she created. And, you know, so there was an exchange of words. I told y'all about Katina, child. I told you, she just, once we don't like you forever. Like, it's a wrap. But yeah, so Katina pretty much called Lindsay out and was just telling her that she's too old to act the way that she acts. She needs to seek help for it, and she's pretty much playing victim. And Lindsay, you know, Lindsay got defensive, and yeah, I just don't think that they will ever be friends. You know, and Lindsay was asking Alyssa questions, and, you know, Alyssa likes to avoid questions. She's like the Karate Kid. Like, if a question comes, she's just like, ah. But yeah, so she was very short with Lindsay. So Lindsay's like not starting off on the right foot with not only Olajuwon, but like the other girl. Lindsay and Mark definitely have had a rocky start on their honeymoon. You know, as I mentioned before, Lindsay is team too much, and, you know, it's really getting to Mark because he pretty much did mention that he doesn't want to have to keep doing that. He doesn't want to have to keep putting on the cape for her. He doesn't want to have to keep on coming to her rescue and trying to calm situations down that she creates, that she can easily walk away from and not feel like she has to get the last word or she has to prove that she's right. He just wants her to pretty much take the mature route. And to be honest with you, I honestly feel like if this was a normal setting outside of the experiment of Married at First Sight, I really do believe that Mark would have ghosted Lindsay in the real world. Because she is a lot, but beyond her just being a lot, it's just like, you don't want to be with the person that's always in some drama or starting some drama. So I definitely understand where Mark is coming from. Now, you know, Mark did mention, you know, when Lindsay and him were talking about their past relationships, he did mention that he had an ex that drank a lot. And I honestly feel like he sees his ex in Lindsay because he mentioned that Lindsay went through 3 bottles of wine. Like, sis, I like you just pour a half a glass of wine in my cup and I'm good. Like, what, two days ago I had Thursday? Yeah. 2 days ago I had 2 glasses of wine, but they were like filled halfway. How can you do 3 bottles? Girl, do we need to call the people? Says, do we need to set you up with the AA meeting? Like, what's going on? What's going on, Lindsay? Like, get it together. And I really hope that when he mentioned that was something that he ran into with an ex, that she really was listening, because he's saying a lot without saying a lot. It's like, girl, I need you to stop drinking, because when you drink, you act up. You don't know how to act. So reel it in, pull it back some. So I really hope that Lindsay had her listening ears on during that conversation. But moving on to later on in the evening, you know, Mark had planned a fancy dinner for them, or supposed to be a romantic dinner, but it ended up going south. And, you know, he told Lindsay that he wanted to slow things down because he felt like things were moving too fast. And Lindsay was not having it. She was not pleased. Because unlike Noy and Steve, where Noy told, you know, Steve that she feels like she's fallen in love with him, they didn't consummate the marriage. So, you know, Steve not being in the same space as Noy didn't affect her as much as with Lindsay and Mark, because Lindsay and Mark consummated their marriage. So being that they consummated the marriage, she was already saying that she loves her husband, which I think is absolutely crazy. But you know how I feel about that. It made her feel some type of way when he said that he wanted to slow down. And she pretty much called him out. She was just like, listen, if you're going to say that we could slow it down, then I'm gonna need you to start farting around me. I'm gonna need you to stop acting comfortable around me. You know, like, I'm gonna need you to stop acting like we've been knowing each other. You know what I mean? And it really did hurt her feelings. It really did. And I definitely understand where she's coming from, because, like I said, I feel like just the way that Mark handled that situation, I feel like if it was in the real world, he probably would have, like, hit it and quit it. Pretty much hit it and then ghosted her. Or ghosted her. We don't know. But I don't think he handled the situation in a proper manner, because I feel like Mark is more of the mature ones in the whole husband group. And I felt like, you know, last episode he was super mature on how he handled the confrontation with Olajuwon and Lindsay. But I do honestly feel like for the romantic dinner, he didn't handle her properly. And we already know that Lindsay is a very emotional person. So, you know, it hurt her feelings pretty much. You know, she felt the way, because she's just like, you know, I believe in you, but you don't believe in me. But for me, I don't even feel like it's just that. I just feel like she has a lot of stuff that she has to work on. And I hope that once this show is over, that, you know, everyone that participated in this experiment gets to see themselves on television from a different perspective, to see what they may have been doing wrong in the, you know, in the dating world when they were single. Because it's definitely showing up while they're married. And it is definitely answering questions as to why they might have been in the single pool for a while. Now I'm going to move on to Katina and Olajuwon, child. Olajuwon, you each episode you just make me like you even less. Like, you remember that padlock that I talked about in my previous review before this one? I see that you did not invest in that padlock that I mentioned. And if I were you, Olajuwon, I would quickly invest in a padlock for your mouth. Quickly. Okay? So, my feedback is more on Olajuwon than Katina, because we know Katina got into it with Lindsay. But I want to take the time to address Mr. Olajuwon really quickly. Olajuwon, I really want you to learn time and place. I really want you to learn class, because the stunt that you pulled on that boat was just ridiculously unnecessary. Like, it was a complete turnoff. And I think for any woman outside of Katina, it would be a complete turnoff. All of these questions, all of these sexual questions, all of these questions about, or statements about threesomes, you blabbering and telling her and the rest of the group that you had a mother and daughter, and you're wearing that on your chest so proudly, but then you're talking about you're ready to be a husband and you're ready to change, but everything that comes out of your mouth references back to your past, reference back to Isaac, the guy that you say that you used to be. If that's who you used to be, why do you keep bringing it up? Why do you keep living in your past? Why can't you live in the present and in the moment of who you are in right now? That's what tells me, the fact that you live in your past so much, you always mention it and referring back to your past, that tells me right there, you are still that guy. You are still that guy. Like, listen, we're grown, okay? What you do in your bedroom is really your business. There's no judgment zone here, okay? Because I'm definitely not a prude. But Olajuwon, we didn't need to know that. They didn't. The world didn't need to know that. Your audience did. The other couples didn't need to know that. Katina didn't need to know that right away. Like, are you conscious that this is an 8-week experiment, and then you have to eventually go back to the real world where you have to return back to your job to make a living? Like, did you not keep that in mind? Because if you did, you wouldn't say half of the stuff that comes out of your mouth. Like, if I was Katina's family, her mom and her friends, especially her one male friend who pretty much was on Olajuwon's behind, feeling like he's just on this show for ulterior motives or for attention, you saying what you said on that boat only proved Katina's friend correct. Only proves the viewers correct about you. You just like to hear yourself talk, and you don't care what comes out of your mouth. You don't care how it affects other people. Because I feel like if I was Katina in that moment, I would have had to check him. Like, sir, that's not what we doing. That's not what we doing, okay? Because I guarantee you, if Katina was spreading her business about what she used to do in the past with whoever and whoever, it probably would make him feel uncomfortable. Because he already is a very intense guy. So I don't feel like he's as secure as he tries to make himself look. I feel like, him being secure is just pretend. And it's just like, if you know that you might react badly to something Katina might share with the world or share with the other couples or put out there in the public that may make you embarrassed, give her that same energy when it comes to yourself, and tone it down, reel it in, bring it in, and stop talking about Isaac. When are you going to talk about Olajuwon? When are you going to talk about the present you? You know why you can't do that? Because you're the past you. Still in the present. I said what I said. Okay? Ooh, child, I just had to get that off my chest. We did see, the scene with Olajuwon and Katina in the gym, and they were working out, and he was really intense with her, and he later revealed that he was just testing her to see if she would speak up. Like, dude, how old are we? Like, how old are we? When is your grown gene gonna kick in? And I know you 29, I think, or 28, but I need your grown gene to kick in, because you don't need to be testing people when you're grown. Like, that's some little kid, 17 in the world running amok type of behavior, not a grown man. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, women like men for the most part who lead, who are teachers. And Katina looks to me like she was open to learning from him. You know what I mean? But the way that he went about it, it was just like, I don't wanna do anything with you. Like, you're just teaching too much. Like, you're supposed to be teaching me, but you acting like drill sergeant Olajuwon. Like, what is going on? And this whole I'm trying to test you thing, like, is she a pet? Is she a toy? You want to test it out to see if it works? Like, what is going on, sir? Like, you really, that's why I say, with the contestants that sign up for Married at First Sight, I honestly believe they do not do prep prior to coming on this show. They don't go to therapy prior to coming on this show. Because if you have no experience in being in a serious relationship, how do you expect to be a good husband if you are not making the steps to be one? You're not working on yourself. You're not seeking counsel from you're not seeking counsel from people who have either been there, done that, or really can give you wisdom. It's like, I don't believe these contestants are doing that. So they're literally coming into this experiment like fish out of water, because it's just like, Olajuwon, you want to be a husband? Act like one. But every time you open your mouth, you're talking like you're a bachelor who's just out here running in these streets. Like, I'm going to need you to activate the husband button, because clearly it's not working. You know, it's not working. You think it's working, but it's not working. But yeah, it's crazy, because everybody on the boat was just like, did he really just say that? Did he really just say that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Like, Shanae. Oh my goodness. Olajuwon, I'm gonna need you to get it together. I'm gonna need you to get it together. And Katina, sis, from one good sis to the other good sis, to one Cancerian to the other Cancerian. I know that you mentioned, on the casting special and, first episode, second episode maybe, that you have mostly been the side chick. You started relationships with guys and then found out that they were like in long-term relationships. So for the most part, you haven't experienced what it is to be someone's number one, right? And I'm not judging you for that, especially if people are lying to you, they're not being honest. So you're going in situations blindly. I completely get it, right? But I want Katina to get to the place where she recognizes her worth and recognizes that Olajuwon has a lot of work to do. So the little things that he's doing for her that she just thinks is so impressive is really basic level. Like, and I know that sounds harsh, but it's just the truth. It's basic level, sis. Like, I'm telling you, you can be pampered out here. You can be loved on out here correctly. You can be with a man that's not embarrassing you, that's just saying whatever it is that comes to his mind out of his mouth. Like, you don't have to deal with that. You may not be used to great treatment, but it is low level, basic level that you are getting from Olajuwon that you think is the utmost prize, and it's so sweet. Like, I'm just being honest with you. And Katina even mentioned that she feels like she's fallen in love. I'm like, girl, stop. Please stop, y'all. Lindsay, Noy, Katina, stop. Y'all, it's too soon. You don't know these people. You don't even know what's in these people's bank account. You couldn't even get child, listen. Do you even know his address, girl? Do you know where he live at? Just saying, you know his address? Could you like memorize it? Probably not. So how you in love? Like, come on, y'all. Cut it out. Cut the nonsense out. Seriously, cut it out. Anyway, moving along to Jasmina and Michael. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna say. Each episode of Married at First Sight that comes on, I just feel less and less confident about this couple. I don't believe they will make it because I just see two people that are stuck in their ways. I see two people that are super stubborn, and I see two people who say they want to be in love but operate like they're in the military, like they're warriors, pretty much. They're at war with each other. And I'm not going to get too deep, but that's very common. And if you could read in between the lines, read in between the lines, because I'm not going to really go there in this moment. But I feel like, and I mentioned this before, and I just want to give a quick disclaimer. Guys, everything that I say in my reviews are literally my opinion. You do not have to agree with it. If you don't agree with something, you can state your sentiments in a respectful manner. We can, we can talk about it in the comments. We can share our views. But if I say something that you don't like in my review and you come at me rudely, it's up. Like, you're gonna get a response back that is a classy read or an educational read. Like, I'm not gonna spare your feelings. Okay? I just want to put that out there. So back to Jasmina and Michael. Jasmina gets further on my nerves each week. Because I look at her and I just say to myself, why do you look so miserable? Like, even prior to this incident this week with Michael, I'm just like, why do you look so unhappy? Why do you look so miserable? Why do you not smile? Like, why do you feel like you have to be strong, the strong one, all the time? It's okay to be light Black women. It's okay to be soft Black women. You're still walking in your power, regardless. It is ancestral, the strength that we have. It is ancestral. We don't have to overprove that we are strong, because that comes in our bloodline. Our ancestors paved the way. They shed the blood. They took the violence. They dealt with all of that to make a way for us to be in a better space, okay? We don't have to walk around with chips on our shoulders. We already had ancestors that carried that. So, once again, if I say something and I'm speaking to Black women and you don't like it, as a Black woman, keep scrolling, keep it moving. Maybe my channel is not for you, but guess what Keshia is going to do? Keshia's always going to hold her sisters down, not only uplift you, but also correct you so you can walk on a better path. Because guess what? I'm not perfect, but I had to learn. And sometimes we learn the hard way. Sometimes we will keep crashing and burning and going from relationship to relationship because we don't know what it is that we're doing wrong. And for Jasmina, sis, the direction that you're going in is going to lead to a lonely life unless you want to be with a man that you can control. And nothing about her tells me that she wants to control a man. What I get from her is that she wants someone to lead her. But it just seems like there is this tug of war with Jasmina. And it's just like, you can relax. You can rest. I understand marriage is serious. I understand marriage is important. I understand that you're taking this seriously and you want it to go well. I understand. But you're taking it so seriously that it doesn't even look like you're enjoying the process. It looks like you're not even enjoying the moment. Like, you're just so serious, and it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Okay? Sis, like, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. If anyone shows Jasmina or her family or people that know her this video, know that what I'm saying is out of love. But I'm going to need you to relax. You're not at war. Black women, we're not at war. Okay? Now, let me get on Michael, because I just got on Jasmina. So, I play fair over here. I play fair on my channel. I will read one and read the other. It's not one-sided. Okay? So, with Michael, he felt on the boat that he was asked the question if he consummated the marriage, and he pretty much was just like, no, it's only been 3 days. And then Jasmina stated her piece. She actually, he said, it's only been 3 days, right? Like, I took that like it was an open-ended question, like it had a question mark. So then Jasmina stated like she is more interested in getting an emotional connection with the person first before she gets intimate with them, or like physically. And Michael had took that wrong. He felt like she cut him off. Which I feel like she kind of did, though, because he asked the question and the question wasn't answered. It was just like, okay, I'm going to state my piece. At least that's what I interpreted. But I did see some comments and people felt like she didn't cut him off. There was other opinions, and that's completely fine. We're open to opinions on this channel. But they got into it for that, and Michael pretty much wanted Jasmina to apologize for cutting him off. And she was pretty much like, I apologize if you felt that way. Like, if you felt a way about what you thought I did, but I didn't do it. And he said to her, that's not an apology. And she's just pretty much like, yeah, it is, because I really don't feel like I did anything to you. The thing about it is, in relationships and in marriages, a lot of times to have a peaceful environment, you have to let stuff go. You just have to let stuff rock and maybe revisit the conversation at a later time. But I just feel like I feel like Michael was a bit condescending, and I will agree that he was a little aggressive in his approach, wanting that apology. And the thing about it is, he actually did it in a very passive aggressive way. And it actually reminded me of a guy I talked to in the past, briefly talked to in the past, that was like that. That was like, if I don't like what I hear, or if you explain something to me, or if you apologize to me and it's not satisfactory to me, I'm going to keep bringing it up until I get the answer that I want, until I'm satisfied with the answer that I want to get, or the information that I want to hear or receive. And long story short, that it ain't work out. It didn't work out, because the thing about it is, if I address something once, I really addressed it once, and it's move on. Like, we're moving on. But if you keep bringing it up, or you're doing passive aggressive things, or you're being condescending, like, you're on that boat by yourself, because I've already moved on, But even in saying that, I feel like an apology is supposed to be heartfelt and sincere and light. But Jasmina was basically more so like, hey, I'm going to apologize to you how I want to apologize to you. And if you felt the type of way, I'm sorry that I made you feel that type of way. And she's going to learn quickly that's not going to work for any relationship. It doesn't matter if it's Michael. It could be Michael B. Jordan, child. Still ain't going to work. Like, I just, both of them need work. Both of them need work. Honestly, they do. But Jasmina, these reviews, I'm going to be on your tail, sis. Not because I have anything against you, but I want you to do better. I really do. Because I see things and I'm just like, I hope that you see it when you're off the show. So when you're in your next relationship, because I honestly don't think that this relationship is going to last, that you know what to do the next time. When you get married again, that you'll know what to do the next time. Because, yeah, and then Michael on the too. You know, you being always in your head is going to be the demise of your relationships until you get out of it. Like, do you really want to keep things the way that you've been conducting it, and are you okay with dying on that hill, so to speak? Because I doubt you do, because that's a lonely life. That's a lonely life. But it's up to y'all, though. You don't gotta listen to me. It's up to y'all. Y'all decide if y'all want to make the change. Y'all decide if y'all want to go to therapy and really work on yourself and get rid of all of these traumas that have attached to you over time. So you can not only can you be better for your significant other, but at the core, be better for yourself. Both of y'all need work separately. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to say on that. Moving along to our last couple, and saying that they're a couple, child, is a reach. But Chris and Alyssa. Alyssa said, no, I ain't even going to call you sis, because I don't even like you like that, for real. But Alyssa, girl, the whining. Like, I literally thought Haley from, what season was she? Atlanta, the Atlanta season. I thought Haley was bad. I even thought Molly was bad. I think Molly was from season 3, which was the original Boston, I believe. I thought those two were bad because, you know, Haley's not, Haley's never been my zhuzh. Like, I just couldn't get into Haley. But Alyssa is worse. Like, she tops them all. Like, and it's crazy because, you know, people were comparing Alyssa to Mirla in the, you know, the Married at First Sight fan comments. Mirla is the absolute opposite of Alyssa. Mirla did not like Gil, but she did not treat him the way that Alyssa is treating Chris. Okay? Like I said, Chris might not be an angel. He might just be, you know, he might just be being portrayed as the good guy. He might not be. We don't know. But Alyssa, sweetie, and I don't even want to call you that, but you know, I'm going to keep it respectful. Sweetie, you could not like someone, like I mentioned before, and still treat them with respect. Like, Alyssa reminds me of like a popular girl in school that treats the nerdy guy like he should be happy that she breathes around him. He should be happy that they're sharing the same air. Like, that's how she treats him. Like, and she keeps saying that she's a nice person. I'm like, sweetheart, you are so delusional. You are not a nice person. Nothing about you reeks nice. Just because you rescue animals does not mean that you're a nice person. You just have empathy for animals. And it seems like you have more empathy for animals than you do Chris. I'm just saying, who's a whole human being just like you. And then the crazy part is she makes no sense. They went on the what was it, paddle boarding, and she was okay with that activity. And as soon as that activity was over, she's just like, okay, I don't want to be next to him. Like, what? If you didn't want to be next to him, why were you even filming with him? Why were you even talking to him? Why were you having a conversation with him? Like, this girl really makes no sense, and I really don't get it. I really don't get it. And then she throws a fit and a tantrum when she spoke to her mom over the phone, and her mom pretty much checked her like, listen, suck it up, participate, be present, and be mindful of how you're being portrayed on television. And she threw a fit. She cried. She was just like, I'm mad at my mom. Like, sweetheart, your mom is right. You need to listen to your mother. Like, it's crazy because I'm just like, just seeing the wedding day, how her mom was. Her mom seems like a very nice and pleasant lady. I'm just like, how did you raise this girl? Because she's the complete opposite of that. The complete opposite. She's not a nice person that she claims that she is. I'm like, who is telling this girl that she's nice? Because she's not. Because she's not. I have yet to see on camera Chris do anything to her besides try to put in effort and try to accommodate her. In certain situations, I feel like he's delusional too, because he just thinks the world of her right now, and she doesn't project that same energy towards him. Like I said, you don't have to find him attractive, but you can still respect him. You can still treat him like a human being. You can still be decent to him, but you can't even do that. You need a lot of work. I don't even know why you signed up for this show. Like, it's called Married at First Sight, so there's a probability that you're going to be matched with someone that you're not physically attracted to. No, you don't have to fake the funk, but you don't have to disrespect them. You know what I mean? Like, you knew that this was a possibility. You knew. And you know, Married at First Sight's track record. You tell them you want a man that's financially stable, they're gonna give you the broke guy. You tell them that you want to travel the world like Olivia from I think she was from the New Orleans season. That or whatever season she was from, I don't remember. I think it was New Orleans. You tell the experts that you want to travel. They give you the guy that don't like to travel, that likes to save money. The same thing with Rachel and Jose. Rachel wanted to travel the world. Jose was like, let's travel around Texas. Y'all know the experts give the opposite of what you request. So Alyssa should have been like, I want somebody that don't have nice teeth, that I don't think is attractive. So they could have gave her somebody that is attractive or that she finds attractive. Like, you knew it was a probability that you wasn't going to get what you wanted, or all that you wanted, or someone that you may not be physically attracted to. You signed up for this. You knew what it was. And then on one of the Married at First Sight fan pages, they put up like a post from Melissa she was pretty much like, people are cyberbullying her, and it's affecting, people adopting dogs from her or her charity, or wherever she volunteers at, or whatever the case may be. Like, sweetheart, that's your fault. You the one that's acting like this. And don't try to blame it on editing, because character and editing are two different things, sweetheart. That's your character. That is not editing. And I get so sick of these people that's on reality TV that come off the TV when they're horrible people, they're not nice, and they say, oh, that was editing. No, it wasn't. It's you. It's who you are. You give these producers, you give the film crew material to use. Yes, they can cut, edit, copy, paste things, but you're feeding them with the content. You're feeding them with the footage. So if you're feeding them things that are not positive, and they use it because it's for good TV, that's your problem. You did that, and nobody forced you to do that. Alyssa, nobody forced you to do that. You're not a nice person. You need to work on yourself. You need to work on how you treat others, because guess what? The same way that you treat Chris badly, Another man is gonna come and do you the same way, and you're probably used to that. You probably are used to that. You're probably used to running behind a guy that really doesn't like you like that. I mean, didn't she say that her ex just walked in one day while she was cooking and was like, I don't want to be with you? Someone that cares about you is not going to do that. They're going to handle you with care, even if they're going to let you go. Even if they're going to walk away from you or they don't want the relationship, they still will handle you with care when they actually love you and care about you. So the way that he poo-pooed on you is the way that you poo-pooing on Chris, but then karma's going to come back and poo-poo back on you. Okay? And then I talk about you went to a psychic. Girl, I ain't even going to get into that. We on this channel, we believe in Christ. We don't believe in psychics. We don't believe in tarot cards and crystal balls. We don't deal with the witchcrafts. We don't deal with the spirits and the demons. We don't do that. But hey, to each his own. Team Jesus over here. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching my review of Married at First Sight, season 14, the Boston season, and this is episode 5. So be sure to subscribe, like, and share my channel. Make sure you invite a friend and then some. And get my channel up. Let's get these numbers going up. You know, I'll be giving y'all content. I'll be giving y'all looks. Hello. I'll be giving y'all editing, music, all of that. So definitely get into it. And I will see you guys next time, next week. Bye.